difference, one cup at a time. Yeah, this is tea time. Yeah, making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time. Making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is tea time at Miss Liz's house again. That's right. And we're having a returning guest from season one. We have the incredible Jack Bambo, who is joining me to give us an update on LIGHT URIRI. So we're going to do the disclaimer. We're going to get all of that good stuff out. We're going to do a quick little bio intro of Jack, and then we're going to jump Jack in, and we're going to have a good old TEA. So this morning, disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, may bring forward dialogue and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussion for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It is significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about the disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Miss Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in today's show in any aspect, I myself, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that the show is not made for you at this time, I will see you at a later show at a later date and time. Again, all tea times this year are on Thursday unless they are rescheduled. So let me do a quick bio intro of Jack, and then let's get Jack in here and let's spill some good old TEA this morning. So Jack Bambo is the founder and director of LIGHT URIRI, that supports orphans, abandoned, street kids, and physical and sexually abused children in rural Uriri, Kenya. A teacher, environmentalist, and a humanitarian by profession. His favorite color is orange, and his one word is bamboo, and he's from the country of Kenya. So let's get Jack in here. Welcome, Jack. It is an honor to see you again. It has been a long time since season one. So, Jack, give us a little update on what has happened since being on Tea Time the first time.
Okay, I think from the Tea Time, I guess things have changed and we've learned a lot. Great progress has been made. And if I can say great progress is that in terms of numbers from girls, of girls attending light school, it is increasing. And this is based on the maybe awareness that we created last time, and to the fact that more people are now becoming aware of what we do at LIGHT URIRI, especially when you talk of physically and sexually abused girls. Now they can be able to relate LIGHT URIRI with that. And to begin with, I think the numbers in terms of girls, the last time we had the discussion, we had 16 or thereon. But right now we are supporting over 40 girls to access education. We talk of safe shelters. We also talk food and clothes because this is very necessary. And last but not least is medical care because when they are physically and sexually abused, we have to take them to the hospital for checkups and all that. Then we follow it up with the treatment. So basically, I can say a lot has been achieved and we are making positive progress.
Well, when we talked back in season one, Jack, you were just getting started, I believe, right? Where you were getting sponsorships and support from outside community.
Yes, and the numbers by then were also not very impressive. But right now we can talk about worldwide sponsorship programs, especially from main countries. We talk of the US, we talk of Australia, UK, Canada, France, and recently we have now Netherlands and New Zealand. So this is something which we are must say we are proud of, and we must say Teatime also contributed into making it visible because without visibility, I think we will not be making headways. But right now, we are an organization that people refer kids to, especially those who have been abused, those who have been physically and sexually abused. People are getting referrals and they are bringing them to our school.
Well, and I've also seen like on your Facebook page, you started growing your own crops and food as well. So that's a big change from season one as well. So
Yeah,
are
that's
people
also.
donating seeds in that to you, Jack?
Now, what happens? We have uh, we call it voted based on sponsorship. We take some percentage, little percentage, then we take that one for growing, especially getting seeds. We also use it in terms of labor, plowing, planting, then weeding and all that, then harvesting, then shredding. When we've harvested our crops, we do the shredding so that we have the combs and also the maize separated. Beans the same because we do a lot of planting of beans, which is corn. Then we also have beans. Then we also grow a lot of vegetables, so the kales and cabbages, because this helps us reduce the cost. Because if you look at it in terms of worldwide, the cost of living has gone up, especially in terms of food. And when we talk of fuel, it means everything has to go up. So we are trying to cut the cost in terms of sustainability costs. In terms of, we know very well that our kids have to eat, but we don't need to rely on the markets because if we rely on the market, then we'll be able to fail. But we want to have a sustainable farming so that we can be able to have our own crops and also our own food. Back to you.
So, Jack, we have a question here for you. They want to know how many children are in the school.
At the moment, we have uh, roughly 400 because with the new program, we have now three categories. We have the kindergarten, which is a nursery school. We also have the primary section. Then we also have the junior secondary section. When we talk of this, we have three categories. So I'll be able to have a total number of kids, which is now 500.
Oh,
But when we talk of 500, it means we have those in the nursery, we have those in the primary, then we also have those in the secondary, which the approval of the junior secondary was done on 30th, which was last, it was 30th January. So these are our third month into it. So there's a lot of challenges, and if you look at it, we had changed also the uniform for this junior secondary. We also had to get them lockers from desks because we used to use desks. Now we have to have lockers and chairs. Then we also have to change the entire bookshelf because this is a new curriculum. So we have to have new textbooks for all the kids. And the numbers of for subjects we used to have five. Now they have been increased to 12. So you can imagine the kids cannot carry the books back home. Then we also have the issue to do with the computer studies, which has been introduced. We also have practicals, and they have to do practical in terms of the main key subjects in terms of science. That's physics, mathematics, chemistry, and biology. Then we also have agriculture, and they have to go to the lab. So that's why we're trying to establish the laboratory where kids can do the physical practicals.
so
Back to you.
Jack, since being in season one, Has there been a decrease in the children coming to the school for medical support since you've gotten more sponsors now?
In terms of medical,
Yeah.
no, what I can say is that most of these kids, in terms of medical, I can talk of in terms of malaria. That's what I can say. Because previously we used to have a lot of malaria, but through awareness, we were able to get donations in terms of mosquito nets. So when we have the mosquito nets, it means we reduce the risk of our kids being exposed to mosquitoes, which cause malaria. Then, in terms of water, we also got a well done through our sponsor, and it was not easy. Up to now, it's not easy. And in terms of waterborne diseases, it has been drastically reduced, and these are plus for us. Then when we talk of the diarrhea also has also gone down because we now have clean and safe water for our kids.
So we have a question here. They want to know why the name Light Uri.
Okay, basically my background is that I was one time I was also a sponsored student from my early childhood to the university and now back to my village. This school out of put it up in Nairobi, but I could not do that because I was thinking back into my village. My village people are very poor, and when I talk of poverty and a lot of suffering, that was to me darkness. So I wanted to bring light, and that's why we call it light uriri. So when we talk of light uriri, we are giving hope and also bringing light. We want our community to be also seen outside there. Many people did not know Light Uriri home, they did not know Light Uriri school, they did not know about what our family. But now, because we have the light, now they are able to see our kids, they are able to sponsor them, they are able to give them another chance in life. Because the life in my rural village is not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially for girls and those who come from the very poor households. It's not easy.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about the sponsors. So to sponsor a child, how much is it and how does that work?
Okay, ideally and basically it should be around $360 a year, but this one is practical, not small money. So we've come up with a moderate amount, which is $300 a year. With this, we are able to feed the kids, buy them clothes and uniform. We are able to give them the accommodation or the shelter because our dogs have we have to repair the beds, we have to buy new mattresses, the bedding, the bed sheets and blankets. Then we also ensure that these kids, when they are sick, their health is taken care of because with the malaria, it's something which is there. The kids, because with a huge number, one or two of them must get sick. So we have to have them being sick and we have to have referrals. And that's why we're also at the moment finalizing with we are coming up with the construction of a light community health center because we also want to ensure that our community can also get help within their facility. Then lastly, we talk of education, which is the main, and this was the first thing from the beginning when we started Light already. So that's basically what we are and what we are able to do with the funding that comes in.
So can they do that on monthly payments, Jack, or is it one lump sum?
Yeah, one monthly payment is also possible because when talk of monthly payments means this somebody who is not able to do one-off payment for annual sponsorship. So we also have a monthly, and this one can come at $35 a year, a month, and this also goes towards all those basics, and 100% of it goes towards provision of those basics. The salary part is a different thing. The administration cost is a different thing, which is not part of sponsorship.
So when they sponsor this child, do they get to know this child? Like if they wanted to come and visit?
Yeah, when you sponsor a child, you are always free to come and visit any time of the year. As long as you are able to visit, you'll be able to access the child. You'll be able to have a one-on-one contact, one-on-one communication with the child. And when you are not able, we also encourage letter writing from the sponsor and from the child, sometimes occasional, which is because it's expensive to do video chats. But you, when you plan for it, we'll be able to organize for your child to have a video chat with you. Then we also have emails where our kids can be able to email you, and also you can be able to email them back. We have a postal address where you can email them letters so that we get them and give them the letters that they can read from their sponsors.
And have you had any sponsors come and see the children?
No, no. What I can say is that we have a good number of sponsors who have been coming to visit the kids. There's one from New Zealand, a number from the US, then some from the UK. Some from Australia have been coming, but they've not been able to reach to Light School, but they've been adequately briefed about what's happening at the school. There are also two girls who sponsor some kids from Canada. They've come to Light Uriri. Then by chance we also met again in Connecticut in the US, where I went to visit one of my friends, one of also our partners. So when we were there, the two ladies from Canada came and we had a chat and met with them for quite a number of, I can say, 5 days in Connecticut, US.
Well, I noticed that you room redux and you have partnered up together, correct?
You saying?
Room redux with Susie, you guys have connected, right?
Yes, yes, yes. We were connected, and a number of our sponsors, we've had a one-on-one connection with them. Some of them we met physically. If we look at Linda, we also met in the US. She sponsored us two kids here, and her daughter had been to Kenya. One of the kids that she sponsors was rescued by her daughter. So Linda Pitaro is one of our sponsors, and the daughter is the one who happened to have come to Kenya. He rescued the child from the streets of Kisi, and right now we are with the kid at Light Homobo.
So do you guys have a room redux in Kenya?
No, we don't have a room redux in Kenya, but what we're trying to do, we are working with the team because they are planning to also come and visit. Hopefully, and I say hopefully there'll be a good number. When they come, I guess we'll be able to have our charter, like Light Room Redux charter, and that for me to be a plus for me because I think if I'm not wrong, it will be the first one in Africa.
And I think you met Susie through the Global Peace Challenge project,
True.
correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I met her through that, and I don't take it for granted. When we network, a lot of opportunities come, and many of those people from Room Redux, I can say from many states now sponsor our kids. And this is through Susie. And I must say, thank you so much, Susie, and your team for the good work that you are doing outside there.
Well, I always love seeing collaboration because that's how we met as well is through the Global Peace Challenge Project 2020. And you were both tea time guests on season one, so it was nice to see you guys connect and work together for the same purpose for children who have been abused sexually or physically, because that's what Susie does as well. Um,
Yes.
so have you brought some of that into Kenya, like what Susie does a little bit of with your school?
Yeah, one thing which I must be proud of is that Susie has really helped us ensure that these girls get the new beds. Not once, not twice. She has done her best to ensure that these kids have beds, and also during our annual backpacks, they always contribute and support us. By that, they also share our posts. By sharing, many people come and ask us questions. When they find interest, they can be able to sponsor or support some of our projects.
Well, and I like that you said that, Jack, because when we share a post, right, we're sharing to make a difference. You know, that two
Yes,
seconds can open a door for somebody who has those resources that you're needing for these children. And
yes,
and I really think that we need to start taking more time and just taking that 2 seconds just to share the post. If somebody's posting something and it can make a difference in a child's life, let's just share it. Let's just get it out there. And Jack, it's been amazing to see you grow in the last 3 years. Like I've been watching you and seeing all these donations coming in, and I'm like, yes, like I'm doing a happy dance. Oh my God, they got Des. They got
yeah, yeah, yeah. True. It's possible by sharing a lot. There's a lot of power in sharing than finances. You may not have finances, but by sharing, there's somebody who has finances will be able to donate, and your vision or your dream will be fulfilled through somebody. But by sharing, a lot of things happen. Sharing a lot helps. You can remember the challenge that Susie herself was in. By sharing, she was able to win. And I'm very sure there's a lot of change in terms of lives that have been saved, in terms of progress that has been made in terms for the girls. So I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of the team. I'm also proud of you and your program, because through this program, through the project, I was able to be known, and now a lot is happening in the Light Uriri.
Well, in the Global Peace Challenge project, Jack, what did you get from that?
For me, I guess one of them is that I learned a lot. One, I should be a good listener. Then, whenever there's let's say a problem, or there's a violence, or there's also a conflict, I should be able to listen to both. I should not be able to take sides, and this helps a lot. And especially when there's something to do with a community, female, male, gender roles, gender issues. I think listening helps a lot. Then after that, you can be able to take judgment, and not judgment in terms of condemning, but moderating things, so that the warring sides can be able to come to the table. Because when you have a table in front of us, we can be able to share ideas and also have solutions than being in our own houses.
And did you keep in contact with any of the peace ambassadors besides me and Susie?
I guess we still have Nelly. Nelly Wegner is still there. There's also another guy. I guess a number. We still get in touch. Maybe the names may be off, but we still get in touch with some of them.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things coming up for the Global Peace Challenge 2020. So stay tuned for that, Jack. Now
Yes.
we have another question here for you. What's the difference between street kids and orphans?
Okay. For the orphans, most of them is you find that these are kids whose parents, either both parents, dad or mom, died, and now they still live with their family, extended families, maybe uncle, grandmother, the stepsister, the step aunt. So they're not in the streets. They're having a home, only that those families cannot be able to take care of them. So we come in. But when we talk of street kids, these are kids whom we go to the centers. We go to these towns. We find them lying on the streets. They feed from the beans. They don't have a house. They don't have a shelter over them. These are people who are in the streets, within the especially in the bus stops. You'll find them mostly around bus stops, because there is where we have a good population, where they can be able to get food in terms of fruits and the leftovers. But orphans, that those who have been they may be partial or fully orphans. That's what I can say.
Well, thank you for that. So I want to. Are you working with any of the services like the police department and all of that for these children that are sexually and physically abused, or like how did they come to the school, Jack?
No, basically, we work hand in hand with them, because most of these referrals come from the Ministry of Gender, Sports and Culture, and these are the people who deal with children services. They always call us, because when they have an issue, maybe, let's say a child has been physically or sexually abused, maybe, and you'll always find that those who physically or sexually abuse the kids, they are close and immediate families. So when the mom or dad has been arrested, they always call us that we have an issue here. Can you help us get the custody of this child while we work on the issue with the judiciary and all that? So that's how we get them. But for the street kids, sometimes you have to go to the streets and get them. But we don't get all of them, because we cannot support that. We go and ask, are you willing to go back to school? What's your main challenge? If we give you this, will you be able to stay than loiter back in the streets? So that's how we go about it. But basically, we must work with the government entities. We cannot do it alone.
Well, and that's why I asked that question because without the services, without other people helping, how do you find these kids? Like, how do they know about your school?
Yes.
Do you work with other schools as well, Jack, or
Yeah, we
just
also work with other schools because in terms of we have a national program in terms of sports. So we have different schools doing different games, but basically for us we do a lot of volleyball, basketball, and we also have football. So when our kids have to play, they have to have exchange programs with other schools. We also have debates where our kids can have assembly thing like thing where kids exchange ideas and have issues topics to discuss, but they discuss with other schools, then they get ranked in terms of argument and also how they bring issues forward.
well, thank you for that, Jack. We have a question here about environmentalists. Could you share a little bit on that?
Yeah, when we talk of environment, is that we are on environment ourselves because first of all, like I've said now, it's now raining, and I can. It's that's why sometimes I'm not able to get some things clearly. I hope I'm not letting you down.
Nope,
It's
nope.
really raining. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's raining outside here heavy. Then we also have our crops. Our crops, we have to grow them on soils. So that's why we talk of environment. Our kids have to ensure that the environment, the immediate environment around their classes and classrooms, they have to be clean because when we have clean environment, we reduce the instances of diseases. Also, when we have good soils, we also have a quality harvest, quality and a bumper harvest. Then when we talk of rains, rain is also still the environment because when we have things to do with climate change, when we have problems, it means we'll have less rain with a lot of heat. So we'll have less harvest and all that. When we talk of trees, basically we are using a lot of firewood in our school, which is also pollutant. So we are also looking at which are the clean sources of energy that we can tap into, so that we plant more trees or have even woodlots where we can be able to cut and save our environment.
Well, and you use a lot of what you already have at hand, right? To
Yes,
make the
yes.
difference. And I think it's really important to get it out there that there are incredible organizations out there like yourself, Jack, that are making an impact in your community. So has your community reached out to you to help and support you a little bit more?
Yeah, our community also reaches out to us, especially when we talk about awareness. Sometimes they come for awareness in terms of they don't demand for lunch, they don't demand for transport. What we do is to just offer awareness creation. Sometimes we have peer education. So when they release for us the kids, it means they are also interested in our programs and they don't demand any payment at the end of it. So that's something which we are proud of. And also our community in terms of leadership, they are also with us. When we had the pandemic, most of the parents they donated in terms of foodstuffs to ensure that our kids were able to eat. Our area MP will also donate the foodstuffs. So these are, I can say, there's goodwill from our community. Maybe they may be poor in terms of finances, but in terms of ideas and all that, I guess they are very rich in terms of ideas.
So we have a question here about Kenya. What do you love most about Kenya?
No, one thing which makes me to be proud of Kenya is that first of all is that the freedoms that we enjoy. It may be difficult at the moment because we have political tension, but I guess there's a lot which I'm proud of, unlike other countries in Africa. Like in other countries, they limit in terms of social media usage. They also limit in terms of movement and also freedom of association. In Kenya, we also have groups. You can be able to associate with any group that you feel like, and this makes me proud of our country. We are also able to get girls getting education, and unlike other countries, no, other cultures also limit girls education. So for me, I'm proud of Kenya because they're giving gender roles something of prominence in terms of discussion. So girls are able to get education as required.
Well, I think it's
But
important. I
I
think
think
it's really
today,
Go ahead.
Today, I'm sorry. Today I may disappoint, but not yet there because I can see my phone is 6% because we do not have much of the power today. But I'll get the much I can today with the 6%.
Well, that's it, right? With technology, we have no control over it. It goes
Yes.
as fast as it goes. I I go through that over here too in Canada. My phone just doesn't stay charged. Sometimes the battery just gives out. So
Yeah,
I want.
the whole of today we not had power, so it is such a challenge. But I had committed to it, so I had to be up here.
So Jack, I want to ask you if what tea are you serving today to the public? So if I give you the letters TEA, what words are you giving me?
Teaching, education, and also awareness. Because at the moment we are creating awareness, and also we are educating the public about what we do, and also we are teaching them in terms of what we have, what can we learn from you, and all that.
Well, thank you so much. And that's a strong T, and that is exactly what you're doing. You're teaching educational awareness. Uh, so, Jack, I asked you what your favorite color was, and you gave me orange. Why orange?
Orange. Orange is something which can be seen from far in terms of if you look at the automobile industries, when they talk of they want to see a vehicle from far, they always use orange. In terms of construction works, they always have black and orange. In terms of reflectors, orange is always there. When you talk of reflector jackets, orange is always the color. So it can be seen from far. So based on our light, I link it to light. So something orange can be seen from far.
I like that. And you gave me the word bamboo for your one word to describe you. Why bamboo?
Yeah, bamboo is my local community's name. I think one thing it's more or less associated with bamboo. A bamboo is something which is hard. It's a grass which is hard to break. So I think I'm also part of the associated with bamboo because we are hard to break.
You're really determined. You're a strong man, and you're going to get it
Yes,
done.
yeah, sure.
So I want to get into, do you have any scholarships for the children that are in the schools now?
Scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have for primary and also for secondary. Some of the kids we sponsor are not just attending light school. Some of them attend other secondary schools and also other primary schools. So what we do is we do need assessment, especially when a child comes from far. We always prefer them to go to the nearby schools, but to take care of the course in terms of a course related to education and also healthcare. So that's how we do it. And we also have secondary which some of them, some grades we don't have in our school. So we have to refer them to other schools to get that education. We also have those in the university. We don't have any university in our place. So we have to work with the relevant partners to ensure that they get these scholarships.
So, and Jack, what does the word humanitarian mean to you?
Humanitarian is but I take it from humanity. When everything happens, you take the human perspective in it. It may be difficult, but you have human in you, humanity. You have human in you, so that when something is going wrong, feel it for yourself. Is it good if it was happening to you, or it's only good when it's happening to the other person?
And do you feel that humanity is lacking or increasing?
It's both ways. When talk of increasing, because at light level, I guess it's increasing. But when we talk of decreasing in terms of what is happening recently in our country, we do not expect leaders to be wrangling over small issues. Politics can destroy, but I expect them to be more cognizant of the fact that the people.
And how can people find out about Light Yuri? Oh, we might have lost Jack. Jack's battery might have died. We'll give him a few seconds to see if he can pop back up. But he did mention that his battery was getting low. So if Jack doesn't make it back, please check out the website that's on the screen. I'll also have that in the description box for when I put it up on the podcast apps and stations. Check out Light Yuri. This man has really made an impact since season one. In 3 years, I've seen the growth, I've seen the changes, the donations, the children, the smiles. We really do make a difference when we share each other, when we support each other, and we reach out to different communities in different countries. Sometimes, we stay home too much, and we focus too much on what's going on in our country, but there's something going on in another country that we can also make a difference. And sometimes it isn't financial; it is just a click share, because maybe somebody in your network or community might be able to share and make a donation. So don't always feel that you are the one that has to make that donation. Sometimes just sharing, like Jack said earlier in the show, we can share, we can make a difference. Um, and I believe that Jack has lost power with his battery, so he did say it was low. So we're gonna continue to discuss a little bit about Light Yuri and how I found them. So I found Light Yuri when we joined a project, uh, Global Peace Project 2020, and we actually met as peace ambassadors, and we stayed connected, and we got to know each other's different organizations and foundations and all of that. And through that, Jack was able to meet Susie Vivero, who is the founder of Room Redux. So check that one out as well, because they're also sponsoring Jack today, and they've been giving him a lot of support. This is how we make a difference. This is how we spill our tea. This is how we create a ripple effect, by sharing one another. So it's deeply important just to share these tea times. If it doesn't resonate with you, it might resonate with somebody you know, a family member, a community member, or even a service that you know that they are looking to make donations for certain organizations like Jack's. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and joining us on Tea Time this morning. It's nighttime in Kenya, so that also has an effect. It is raining here, it's raining there, so there's a lot of rain, so there's a lot of growth. So let's plant those seeds and let's really share these teas. And I will see everybody at 3 p.m. with a second tea time on special education and blueprints of mothers. So if you want to know more about that, you can check that out at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then tonight, this evening, we're joining with Jim Marshall, and we're going to be learning about the symptomatics. The Jim has created a new way of human behavior. There's a lot of interesting things coming. Oh, and I do believe that Jack is back, so let's see if we can get him back in. Oh, there he is. Welcome back,
Yes,
Jack.
I'm sorry. My pal had to run to my dad's house.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
I was just talking because I wasn't sure if the battery died or if it was the weather.
no, it
So
went off, but the battery went off.
so Jack, a little bit as I was asking before you got disconnected, how can we better humanity by sharing, by connecting, by networking? For you, how can we help you become a humanitarian?
One of them is continue sharing about what we talk about, and also let's be keen on what we say, because sometimes we are raising issues that when you're outside they may not be able to understand them unless you engage with me one on one. So sometimes it's also good to just get in touch with us so that we can be able to explain more, because sometimes explaining them over the social media within 3 paragraphs may not be enough. So explanation makes also a lot of sense.
Well, I like that you said engagement, because without engagement, how do we get awareness, right?
Yeah, true.
So, any three tips that you'd like to give the audience on Light Yuri and where you see it going in the future?
First of all, is that they need to also check out our website. Also, write to us letters, ask us questions, because it's not that we may be perfect. We are not perfect. Write to us, engage us in terms of asking questions. Get to know what is this. Demand questions, demand issues. Also, demand responses in terms of how is your money being used. That's also something which is more important to us.
Well, I like that you say that, demand answers, because a lot of people will hide from the answers, and you're saying, no, ask us where your money's going so we
Yes.
can tell you where it's going. So that's really transparent. and we need a lot of that transparency, especially today in today's world, right? So I want to thank you for saying that. Demand the answers, demand the questions. Like, Jack is willing to take those demands and answer those for you. So Jack, a little bit more on we have another website here, the renitglobal.org. Could you tell us a little bit about that one?
Oh, first of all, is that when we brought Light URIRI on board, we had to have a global partner. The human face has to be in it, because when you talk only of Light URIRI and people don't know that we have contacts elsewhere, it becomes a problem. So Reignite Global is our global partner. There are people who know us better. We've stood with them since we began, so they know us better. They can be able to explain to the external world who we are and what we do and how we do it. So our Reignite Global is our global partner, and the contact person, Lindsay Coach, currently she's called Lindsay Lee, and she lives in New Jersey. So when you have an issue in the US, you can be able to write to her, reach her, and she'll be able to sort everything out. When you have a donation to make, which cannot be on online, you can write a check, and she'll be able to ensure that it's cleared in the US, and they'll be able to do the remittance back here in Kenya.
And when
Then
did you
again,
guys, when did you become global partners with them, Jack?
from the beginning, from
From
the
the
time
beginning.
we began from the beginning, before even we started Light URIRI, we were already with them.
And that has made a huge impact as well, correct?
A lot of it, because without them, much of it we could have not achieved. I don't think we could be where we are at the moment. I don't think it was impossible.
So when you received some donations that I seen online, some desks. So where did those desks come from?
So the desks were bought from they were bought by various partners, especially from our sponsors. Those who sponsor kids, they bought one or two. There are those who bought more than 10. There are those who bought 50. There are those who bought two or one, and that made a huge difference. Right now we have over 80 of them in terms of pieces, and that makes a lot of difference, because it was a requirement by the ministry, so we had to fulfill it.
So if anybody would like to make donations for school supplies or anything like that, they go through the global partner or they go
They
directly to
can
you?
No, basically they just go through a Grow partner, because they have the platform, they have the website, they also have a PayPal, which can be done using. If it is a PayPal, is nj at reigniteglobal.org. When it is website, it's www.reigniteglobal.org.
So, and Jack, do you have any future events or fundraisers or anything that's going to come up for Light Uri?
Basically, what we do, we always sometimes work with our volunteers, and sometimes we engage our partners. Those who are, because we cannot do online fundraising, especially Facebook online fundraising. You cannot be able to set it widely in Kenya. Then again, GoFundMe, you cannot be able to set while in Kenya. So you have to link up with somebody who is in the US or UK to set up something like that. It's very impractical to do it locally, because the system don't allow. But when we have our partners, they are able to open up a link, then we are able to share, and we get those donations.
So, and Jack, what courses do you teach at the school? We have a question here. They want to know what classes and courses you teach.
Oh, basically for me, I'm a trained teacher in maths and geography, and mine basically I'm not qualified to teach in primary. Mine was secondary, so ours is primary. So basically I'm not really teaching as per se at Light, but I'm doing managerial issues and also legal and policy direction. That's what I can be able to do. But basically I'm supposed to be teaching maths and geography in the secondary. But at Light URIRI, we are having 5 subjects which are main. We have maths, geography, English, Swahili, science, and social studies. Then where we have social studies, we have religious studies also.
Wow. So,
Yeah, but
how many teachers do you have at the school?
And we have 14 of them because we have over 14 classrooms. Because when we have ECD, we have three of them. That's daycare. We have primary one, then primary two. Then we also have now the primary section where we have grades 1 to grade 6. Then we have a junior secondary, which recently we were approved. Now it's come from grade 7.
So we have a question here. What age groups do you have in the school? Youngest to oldest?
Youngest is 2 years, and this has not started school. Then those who start school, we start school from 3 years. Then the oldest, we have 14 years old. But we have those in secondary who can go up to 16, 17 years old. So with them, they just come back for shelters, but they get education at the secondary school and university, relevant universities where they have been called to go to, or they get admission to.
And we have a question here. Has any of the students ever come back to become a teacher for you?
Many of them. Some of them have not gone even to the university. As they wait to join the university, you find them that they are able to come back and give back something by teaching those whom they were above them, especially grade 7, grade 6. They come back and give them, they can be given an hour or 45 minutes, maybe in a week, and they're able to impact those whom they are leaving behind.
Well, that's nice to hear that they come back, because that shows that they learned something and that they really enjoyed themselves. So they want to teach other children what they've learned, right?
Yes.
So, and you also sent me a video, I believe at Christmas time last year, where there was a bunch of kids that were singing. So do you have music lessons in the school as well?
We have a music and dance lesson. We also have drama, which is drama and comedy. We also have that. Then we also have computer studies. Then foreign languages, where we have a French and let's say French.
So you do speak English and French at the school.
No, yes, we have a bit of it because sometimes we have to have basics of French, and also English is main. That's major. Then we also have dance and song and dance. Then we also have comedy and drama.
So, and do you
Then
speak
we
your
also
native?
have art where they are able to paint using artworks and all that.
And do you use your native language in the school?
No, in the school, according to the Kenyan curriculum, it's not something which is allowed. So we use basically English and Swahili.
Well, thank you so much, Jack, for sharing all of that. And I see that we have some little children running around there. So,
Yeah, they were coming on the camera. You know, I'm at my dad's place, so yeah, most of them they are here.
well, it's nice to
Chantel,
see them all playing and laughing.
yes,
We need to see
they're
more of
always
that.
around us here. So like this one, this is she's called Chantel.
Hi.
Yes, say hi. So, so this Chantel, she came when she was very young, but now she's getting bigger.
Wow.
Yes,
She's very
say
beautiful.
bye. Yeah. So that's how we go with them.
So, have you taken any of the children into your own home, Jack?
No, basically what we do, some we have like a homestay, so that we don't restrict them to the dome, like kind of like when to restrict them to dome, like it becomes a prison. But we integrate with them, we live with them. We can be able to find them in my dad's place, but not in our houses, but in my dad's place because these are grown-ups. They can be able to get advices there. Then they retreat back to their domes. Yeah.
And do any of the children stay at the school?
Yes, we have a home. We have two dormitories for boys and for girls. So these some like this one, she's called Chantel. She'll go back to their dormitory there.
So, and how many do you have that are staying like full term? Because some of the
For
students go home, and then some
yeah,
return, right?
45.
45. That
Yes.
that's not bad. Out of 500 students.
Yeah.
So, what message would you, final words would you like to give the audience tonight?
First of all, is that they have to learn to listen to what kids say, because sometimes they may be suffering from something which they are not willing to share that. But when a child shares something with you, it means it's a matter of concern. So let's listen to what they are saying, because you'll find that 90% of what they're telling you is true. Especially those who have been physically and sexually abused, listen to them, listen to what they're saying, because by ignoring them, then you'll be hurting them more. Let's listen to them and get to hear what they want or they have to share with us. That's the only way you can be able to share and also help them overcome the challenges that they're facing.
Well, and I think it's deeply important that we do start listening to our children, right? Uh,
Yes.
what has been the biggest impact since you started Light Yuri that has changed your life, Jack?
One of them is that by giving education, it's only education that you can be able to, you cannot take away from somebody. The rest are materialistic. When you talk of clothes, shelter, those, those you can take from somebody. But when somebody is educated, is the only thing that somebody you can. It's something that you cannot never take away from somebody. And when you educate somebody, you empower. They'll be able to come out of those poverty lines and be able to do something meaningful in their communities, wherever they'll be, or if they come back to our village.
And what type of donations are you needing right now at the school?
At the moment, I'll be able to talk about in terms of only for food and textbooks. No text, because we have a lot in terms of need in terms of textbooks. From 5 to 12 is not easy. So when a kid is required 12 textbooks, 12 exercise books, then a number of teaching aids. It means you have to emphasize much on in terms of textbooks, then in terms of feeding program. That's why we have a lot of challenges.
So that's where you would need the donations right now.
Yes, those are main basics thing. Then the third one we'll talk about education sponsorship now.
So are you needing like any more beds for the children? Are you needing any more desks, school bags, stuff like that?
What I can talk about is the desk and also the bed, and finally the textbooks. Those are main things which go hand in hand, because when you have an increased number, even if it is one, it means you have to prepare a bed for them, you have to prepare a meal for them, then you have to prepare textbooks which they can go to school with. Because when talk of beds, it comes with bedding, bed sheets, blanket, mosquito net, and all that.
Well, and you say the mosquito nets help by
A lot,
preventing
a lot.
illness, right?
They help a lot.
So are you looking for donations of nets as well?
Whenever we can be able to get that, it will be adding value to our work, because at the moment we have inadequate, and those which are there, they're also getting torn, because when you use it frequently on daily basis, it means they have to get torn. So we need to have replacement of old ones, especially with the mattress. We have those who still wet beds, especially children, the young ones. Some of them still wet beds. This has an impact in terms of mattress and blankets, because when you wet it frequently, it means the mattress will have to get worn out. So we have to get replacements. So that's how basically we have to spend more in terms of bedding.
And what about sanitary and napkins for the females? Do you need any of
For
that
the
stuff?
girls, that's something which is standard. It has to be there. It's standard. We have to provide for it. Even if we don't have it, we must find a way out. Something which is very important, because it can make a girl miss classes. So that's something which also treat with importance, because it's very key. It's necessary.
So any final words, Jack, before we wrap up your tea time, because we're running up to the hour, that you'd
Okay,
like to
first of
share?
all, is that we encourage more visitors, we encourage more volunteers to come on board. When they come, they'll be able to learn one on one, because like here says, it will be good if they come. When they come, they'll be able to get information on the ground, how it is. they'll be able to get our needs, because sometimes get donations in terms of equipment, but is it a priority to us? Is it a priority? So those are the things. When you come, you'll be able to see where the need is. Yeah.
And before we wrap up, Jack, you have a missionary opportunity, right, for people to come there. So how does that work?
Yeah, what happens basically, we encourage a short term, especially 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks is encouraged, because with that you'll be able to come with only tourist visa. You don't need to invest much in terms of visa costs. The next thing you need your airfare. Then when you arrive in Kenya, once we have your date and timing, we'll be able to pick you from the airport to Light URIRI. So is that easy? It's not very complicated as people think, unless you are in the military section where you have to be cleared from your department. But if it's an individual, it's a teacher, it's anybody who has never been to work, come is very easy, because you only need a visa. Even on arrival, you don't have to get it before you come. On arrival, you'll be able to get a visa on arrival. So it
So
makes it easy. Then you also need just a few vaccination here and there, for instance, rabies maybe, and also snake bites. And
oh,
that's all. That's all.
you got a lot of snakes over there.
Yeah, they are always there. This is a dry. Sometimes it's very hot, and you can imagine the humidity is low, and these are reptiles. They like where humidity is low. Then we also have hills and rocks, so they live a lot in those areas, unlike island areas where it's cold and we cannot have much of those reptiles.
Well, I'm terrified of snakes, so I'd have to have somebody look out
It
for
should
me.
not be terrified. It's not something which you'll be able to see on daily basis. That's just a precautionary measure, because we have them, but they're not like you'll be able to see them on daily basis.
Okay.
No, you'll not be able to see them on daily basis.
So there's no snake reunion show going on. They're not all.
No. You don't have to be scared about snakes. It's not something which will be there on daily basis.
Well, I want to thank you, Jack, for joining me and bringing an incredible update. And let's stay in contact and let's continue to grow. And if you need anything, I'm just a cup of tea away. And let's just share this tea time, share with the viewers, share with the audience, share with your families and communities and even services out there. Again, when Jack lost power, I said it. We really need to start sharing so we can make a difference. And sometimes it's not always financial; it's just a click away. So one little click can make a difference and can save a life. So
True.
any last minute words, and then we're gonna wrap up your tea time so that you can enjoy the rain because I know it's raining over here too. So
Yeah, it's raining, but at the moment we my last word is that keep coming, come to really. That's the only way we can be able to sort our problems, because we cannot sort them by hearsays. Get to know, get to learn, and get to understand our needs, because not everybody is perfect, and we can make it better by education. That's the only way we can be able to run away from, let's say, the yokes of poverty. You cannot do it without education, so you have to get education. Then thereafter you can be able to see what to do with your own life when you get educated.
and your tea was teaching educational awareness, and that's what we're doing today is we're teaching educational awareness that we all can make a difference. So I want to thank you,
Yes.
Jack, for joining me all the way from Kenya. And stay tuned because Miss Liz will be back this afternoon at 3 p.m. and at 7 p.m. for two more tea times. This afternoon, we'll be speaking about education again, but we'll be speaking about special education for children who have disabilities. And then we're going to be speaking about the septimatics. Jim Marshall has created a new invention of human behavior. So that's going to be an interesting tea. Miss Liz has got a lot of questions for Mr. Jim. But again, Jack, I want to thank you for joining me, and I want to thank you for staying connected. Stay connected with Rumor Ducks. Stay connected to the Peace Ambassadors. And we're all only a step away, and we all can make a difference when we truly share our true selves to the world. And like Jack said, no one is perfect. We all can learn and demand and ask the questions where your money's going so that you know that you're actually making a difference in a child's life. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the supporters. And Miss Liz will see everyone at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a second tea time. And until then, I want to wish you guys all a good day. Jack, stay there. I'm gonna just wrap up, and we're gonna see where we can take a Light Yuri in the next couple of seasons.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, and thanks all to the listeners.